I'm also curious a little bit about improvements. Like obviously year after year, there are things you need to address or some things that go well and some things that don't. So how do you and your team address improvements to the event every year?
Yeah. So every single staff member that works with us, we give them an opportunity to put it in their critique on the entire event, the pros, cons. I want to hear the ugly, the bad, the good, hopefully everything's really great, but I really want people to, give us some solid criticism. And honestly, some of our biggest attendees, they get us the criticism that we need, and I review over it. Sometimes it could be harsh, but there's other times where it's all constructive, and we can go through that and really understand. So, where did we miss on this? So why did they run into this? And we now can go and fix those kind of things. If it's adding in additional signage or adding in new staff members or organizing or putting heavy focus on, shuttle lines, and you got to hear out the guest, the attendee, because they're trusting, their dollars with us and making sure that we could provide that really great experience for them. So we really have to listen to the audience at the end of the day on what they want to hear, what they want to see, and, really curate to that.
That's awesome. And how do things like the shuttles and things like that work? Like, I know you have your hand in everything, but is there one area maybe was the most difficult for you to coordinate, or were some of them easier than you thought they were going to be?
Yeah. So, there's all sorts of different learning perspectives in every single department that's running. And, when we go through the list of departments, it goes from talent to artist relations to artist hospitality to, the site operations, from setting up the site map to doing the programming to, to pretty much everything that has to be ran in a major music festival has to be done for this kind of event. And it takes the individuals that run those certain departments to be entrusted to be able to handle it. And, I definitely come in full force in making sure that people know that, we need to meet these certain standards, and we need to make sure that we take care of the guests. And, we try and do everything possible to, make sure we achieve that.
Awesome. And okay, so we could take maybe last year as an example, but I would love to hear what your day is like first day of home base. Like, what are you doing? Are you running around? Do you get to go to EDC at all? Like, I'm just so curious how your day goes.
I really 2 days before the show, I'm already on site, but I'm always thinking, going through every department in my head and just thinking about the things that we need, the things that we want. Are we missing anything? And really just kind of almost becoming obsessive with the event to know that, everything is in line to run smoothly. Right. And it's so important to think about that, because, if one person isn't showing up, or they may have forgotten this, it could affect somebody's experience, or, it couldn't affect their safety on site. And and it takes everyone to be working at the same time and doing all the right things to make the wheels turn and make us roll in the right direction. So, I'm usually just sleep. Either I'm trying to sleep, but I'm always thinking, I'm like, oh, dude, do we do this checklist? I'm adding things to the checklist, making sure, first thing in the morning that we're getting it done. But, I really love to give the whole team, the opportunity to go ahead and start handling things right off the bat. And then I'll go in and check in with things. But I like to give them the opportunity to be able to run the event themselves, because, for 3-4 years ago, I was definitely doing everything hands-on. If it wasn't, just being there at check-in, putting wristbands on, and in front of the shuttles and everything else. So, but I do go to EDC on the last day. I try to go for an hour or two, just swing, see the layout and stuff. And, usually I'll run into a lot of people that are staying at home base. It's cool to see. So yeah, it's a lot, not a lot of sleep over the weekend, but we're working on that to make it work for everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like eventually, because, you have your certain events that you do throughout the year, and then you get to travel and go do other shows and things like that. But you definitely have to put on that hat for the weekend when so many things are working under you. But